everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy you're here, and if you're new, hi, my name is Anna, and in today's video I am trying to break the stereotype of a typical housewife. So I want to talk about how a modern housewife can be different than a traditional housewife, how you don't have to fit into the category of being a stereotypical, housewife to be a housewife. So maybe you are a housewife already and you're struggling with like some identity, trying to fit yourself into the category. Maybe you aren't a housewife and you're really interested in becoming one. I also have a video all about the pros and cons of being a housewife, and I will link that right here above my head for you to watch. And yeah, I'm gonna tell you guys about my story, about how I decided to become a housewife and how I am different than, a lot of the stereotypical housewives. If you're interested in this content, then just keep watching. Like, my filming room is cold, and so I have this sweatshirt on, and I'm like drinking my energy drink. Like, it's Alani Hawaiian shaved ice. This is my second favorite flavor after breezeberry. So good. Let's talk about things that may be a traditional housewife like stereotype. And I'm going to tell you, you don't have to do any of these things. First of all, you don't have to have kids. That's just boom. You don't have to have kids. Pretty self-explanatory. Maybe you can't have kids. Maybe you just don't want kids. Maybe you don't know when you want kids. It's fine. Like, you can be a housewife and a homemaker without having kids. And personally, that's why I love the phrase housewife and homemaker, especially. Even if I have kids or when I have kids, I want to continue saying homemaker and housewife, because even after my kids grow up and move out of the house, I will still be a homemaker and a housewife. Like, that is what I love to do, and that's what I want to do the rest of my life. You don't have to have kids. If you do, you can still call yourself a housewife. You don't have to call yourself a stay-at-home mom. My second point is that you don't have to wear long 1930s, like Little House on the Prairie type dresses. A lot of, the aesthetics nowadays is like being a housewife and you're running through the fields and the countryside, and they're wearing this long floral dress and they've got chickens running around and kids running around. You don't have to have any of that. You can wear whatever you want. You can wear a bikini in the house. Honestly, like, you can wear whatever you want, whatever works for you. And that's what I really want to focus on in this video, is that being a housewife is what works for you and your family. I feel like that is the most important thing about being a homemaker, is you know what your family needs and you're there to provide it. So this kind of leads me on to my next point of like being in the countryside, that whole, vibe that people get. Maybe you live in a New York City penthouse. Maybe you live in a cottage on the ocean. Like, maybe you live in the suburbs. You don't have to live in the country, but here's the thing, is you can live in the country, and none of these things are bad. If you are a housewife or you want to become a housewife and you want to do all these things, that is totally fine. I just know that personally, sometimes I struggle with, like, do people take me seriously as a housewife because I'm not, the typical, I don't fit the stereotype of this traditional, like, countryside housewife. So I'm just here to help you guys and just have like this casual chat. Another thing is you don't have to know how to sew or cook or do any of the, normal things, duties. I don't know how to sew. I do love to cook, but let's just say that you don't like to cook and your significant other loves to cook. So that's fine. Like, you don't have to cook to be a housewife. You can do other things. Maybe you make your own soaps. Maybe you love to go like thrifting and save your family money. Maybe you bake. You don't have to do everything. Being a housewife is the perfect time. Like, it gives you the opportunity to learn anything you want to learn. And so that is the good thing, that if you want to learn that, like, go ahead and learn it. Another point is that you don't have to be Christian. You don't even have to be spiritual at all if you don't want to be. If you like to meditate, perfect. If you want to pray, perfect. If you just want to work out, perfect. You don't have to, be Christian and go to church. And I think that a lot of people put those things hand in hand, like some of the religions and being a housewife hand in hand, because usually as a housewife, our values align with people that are religious. And so like putting your family first and being, you know, providing a safe, loving, happy household, like kind of aligns with some, you know, most of the religions, and just being like content and, you know, all that type of stuff kind of aligns. But you don't have to practice a religion. You don't have to be spiritual at all if you don't want to be. Another thing is you don't have to be rich. I think sometimes people think that if you're a housewife, your husband must make millions of dollars. A lot of housewives are not rich. Like, yes, some are, but you don't have to be rich to be a housewife, to be a homemaker. Your husband doesn't have to make loads and loads of money. You just make sacrifices, and that's, you know, that's what it, yeah. What? If you guys are enjoying this video and you've made it this far, comment down below and let me know if you're a housewife, an aspiring housewife, or you're just interested in this video. I would love to read your comments. Okay, let's keep going. I want to talk about what it means to me to be a housewife. And I kind of mentioned it a little bit. It's knowing what's good for your family and how you can provide that and make that vision come to life. It means just creating like a home that is peaceful, safe, loving, happy. You want your family to feel calm. You don't want your home to be like a place of anxiety or self-doubt or any of that type of stuff. To me, just like creating that welcoming, warm home is one of the main jobs for us, because to me, I feel like if you like your life in your house, in your home that you're in, what more can you ask for? You're living every day in a place that you want to be. So to me, like making your house a home is definitely a big one. And also being present in whatever you choose. So maybe that is kids, maybe that is marriage, maybe that's friendship, your church, maybe you volunteer somewhere. Being present and putting your all into those things, that can be just like a beautiful thing. Instead of being strung in a million different places, like work, kids, this, that, this, like you can really choose what you want to hone in on and be present and be the best at those couple things that you choose. Another thing is creating good habits to maintain order. So I feel like routine can be really good for families. Things arise every day in our lives. Things arrive every week, every month, every year. You're just kind of like that glue that sticks everything together. If something happens, you have like this presence, I feel like, about you that everything's in control, everything's gonna be okay. I talk about availability in my pros and cons video, and so that's, you know, just a pro of being a housewife is you're always available to be there when things go wrong, when things are good. You're available to help, and just creating, again, that safe place for everyone, both in their mind and their body. Going back to creating good habits to maintain order, let's take cleanliness. It is a proven fact that it's like clean space, clean mind. If you're, you know, putting your effort into cleaning your space, your mind will be at ease, your partner's mind will be at ease, your kids' minds will be at ease, and they'll just be, you know, happy and content instead of anxious. I want to tell you guys some examples of how I'm a modern housewife. So I am not self-sustainable. I do not live in a homestead. I don't even have a garden in my backyard. I don't bake. And here's where the whole thing about like knowing your family comes in. I take health and nutrition very seriously. And so for me, I don't bake because I don't want cookies and brownies and all those like unhealthy foods in our home. And so for us, that is what works, and I don't bake. A lot of housewives do bake. That's like, you know, stereotypical, like, oh, making your own bread or making cookies or whatever. I do that once in a while, but not very often. Another example of how I'm a modern housewife would be that my husband and I are not afraid to have fun. We love to like go out, have fun, have some drinks at the bar, go to nice restaurants, go on vacation. We are not afraid of getting out of a routine. I think that some people, you know, think that housewives are like these innocent, like fragile, like type women, and we don't have to be. You can be who you want to be. I do love embracing my feminine side, so it's not like I'm this wild lady like 24/7, but I'm not afraid to go out and have fun either. You don't have to be this perfectly perfect, put together housewife all the time. You can go out to the city and put some stilettos on and dance and have some drinks and still be a great housewife, a great mom, a great homemaker, a great wife. Another thing is that I don't go to church. Nothing against people that go to church, and like I said, nothing against people that maybe are self-sustainable or do live in the country or wear the long dresses. Like, that is great if that's who you want to be. I'm just trying to break the stereotype because it's not realistic for a lot of us, and I just hope that that stereotype isn't holding other women back from being housewives because they're like, oh, well, I can't raise chickens, I can't do this, like, I can't be a housewife. But you can, and it's the greatest thing. Another way that I am very different is I'm only 23 years old, and so I think a lot of people think of housewives as being older in their 30s or 40s, and I'm 23. Like, I am living my best life. How I decided to become a housewife is I actually had a bridal business for 3 years. I did hair and makeup on site, I had an assistant, I had my website, like everything was going great. I kept getting busier and busier and busier, which was a good thing, but our home was falling apart. It wasn't bad, but our marriage wasn't thriving. My husband worked all the time too. He was creating his business and growing that and working, and I was working and creating my business, and we never saw each other. I was just always stressed. That stress came into our home, and it wasn't a place of peace. It wasn't a place of being happy and content. We actually bought a salon and we were renovating it. And one day I just sat down with my husband and I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I'm going to freak out. I can only do so many things, and I don't know how I'm gonna have my bridal business and my salon and this house, you know, like, what are we doing? And I really wanted to travel with him. He travels for work. We like to travel for fun, and so I really wanted to do that. And he works so hard that it was like perfect for me to stay home, do things like dishes, clean, cook, run our errands. Sometimes I help him with his business, like if I need to go check the P.O. box or just little stuff like that. But of course, things come up. My sister's getting married, so I'm helping her with her wedding. Things come up like my grandma actually died last year, and I was able to be present for the funeral and for that type of stuff, the planning. I actually did her makeup for her funeral. And so stuff like that just comes up, and I have never looked back. I now volunteer for a children's grief center, and so I get my like little kiddo time in there. I decided pretty quickly that I wanted to be a housewife, and my husband was totally on board, and I just have not even looked back since. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was kind of like a random chat and a random sit down, like casual vibes, but I just wanted to tell you that. I don't know, maybe you are thinking about becoming a housewife and you don't feel like you fit the description, but I don't fit the description either, and it's one of the best things I've ever done in my life. I will continue doing this as long as I can and love it. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you in my next video. I hope you enjoyed. Bye!